executed by their signing authority.
So that makes sense.
Okay.
Good. Very good. Okay. Before going out to public comment, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion approved. Motion
With the caveat.
with the caveat that each would be signed by their respective signing authority.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Oh, you can only prove it. I need a second from somebody, or a motion rather. You get. I'll give you the motion.
I'll second.
You want a second? Okay. There we go. Thank you. Okay. We're taking any action. I will go out for public comment. Okay, everybody's quiet so far. Seeing none, hearing none, we'll proceed to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Good. Okay. Now the primary reason why I wanted to call a special meeting today is item number 5. So these are two different resolutions. There's one resolution for each member agency to take to their board or their council. This would be the same resolution that we went back to our board and council with to approve our and adopt our GSPs, our original GSP. It's been amended specifically to include the commitment to developing and implementing both a well mitigation plan and management actions in the Modesto Subbasin. You'll notice on there, and there's two different resolutions, one's for each member agency, and then ultimately we'll have a resolution, independent resolution that will be brought back to this GSA when we approve the GSP as well. So with respect to the well mitigation plan, we're committing to doing that by January 2026. I have an effort right in front of me. What do I do? 2026. And we're committing to development of management actions by that same date. However, management actions, the thought was that if we developed them by January 31st, 2026, then we could allow people to have a year to adjust, make adjustments, understand what adjustments they need to make. By the following year, they would go into effect. So January 31st, 2027. And that'd be no later. We could still implement them prior to that, but we're making a commitment and telling DWR that we're making that commitment to no later than January 31st, 2027 on the management actions. Additionally, so well mitigation by January 31st, 2026, management action development by January 31st, 2026, implementation of management actions by January 31st, 2027. We're also committing to an initial base funding of $300,000. We're not saying where exactly that's coming from intentionally. Hopefully we are able to develop that well mitigation plan and determine if we're going to fund it together, independently, proportionally, not proportionally, all those sorts of things. But we are committing to having a base funding available no later than January 31st, 2026 when it goes into effect. We had an opportunity to present both of these, or the resolution and the process, to DWR last week over the phone. We got some very positive feedback and reinforcement. They liked that. So we feel really good about it. So what we wanted to do, I wanted to have a special meeting to put it out in front of everybody to let them know that this is what we're committing to. We could keep our next meeting to, if there's further discussion, questions, issues, then we have next week's meeting on the schedule to discuss it further. If there are no comments, discussion issues with this approach, then we might even be able to cancel the next meeting. So with that, I'll open it up to questions, comments, feedback from the member agencies on the resolutions. Okay, so this would be taken to your board and council when you're ready to adopt the GSP. We'll go out to the public. Stacy, got a comment?
Okay, thanks for that. Can you hear me okay now?
Yes, yes.
Great. So my question is, whether you guys are planning to allow credits for flood irrigation as part of the programs that you are proposing?
We haven't got that far along. Certainly can consider it, and we're definitely gonna have public involvement as we move forward. So we haven't committed to doing that. We haven't committed to any of those specific details yet.
Okay, so then I understand that the draft revision to the GSP, that's coming out this week, right?
So we're actually, and I misspoke last time. The 7th, the end of this week is when we will have it available to the ad hoc first for review. We had planned to have a week for review for the ad hoc and then a week to address those comments by the consultant and releasing it on the 21st. However, based on the discussion we've had so far and kind of the understanding of what's going to be in the revisions, what we expect to be in the revisions, I'm hoping that we can turn it around faster. So the short answer is no later than the 21st, but I'm hoping to get it out earlier.
And then how long will we have to comment?
So we have on our calendar here, and the comments due are on the 28th, so a week later, so that we would still have time, another week for the consultant to get it wrapped up, get those comments addressed before we came back for adoption in front of the GSA on the 10th of July.
Okay, so you guys are gonna put it out on Friday, the 21st, and we have to go through it within 1 week and give you comments.
Yes.
Lots of changes being made or not so many?
I'm hoping there's not a whole lot. I'm hoping we've discussed a lot of them. Last meeting, we had those presentations. You saw the presentations last week. You were here at the meeting. So
I wasn't actually at the meeting, but I did get a report of it, so.
Oh, I'm sorry. So that's right. I was thinking of Allie. But anyway, yeah, we had a presentation on the expected revisions last meeting. So that's what we can pretty much expect. If you want to go back and watch that meeting or pull up the agenda and flip through that presentation, if you have questions, you can certainly call me directly and we can talk about it. But it should be a pretty it's not going to be like reviewing the original GSP. We're going to have a red line version that we put out, so it'll be a little more expedited review.
Great, we do appreciate that, and that's where I was asking about, for example, the credits for groundwater recharge, because I didn't see that in any of the materials or any of the kind of bullet points that you guys have put out so far. So hopefully we'll see something about that as well.
Yeah, the only thing we included was in this resolution was what we included originally for contemplating as far as management actions go. So those bullets are consistent with what was in the GSP already. I don't anticipate changing any of those things. And they're all up for discussion after the fact while we're going through that period of development of those management actions.
Okay, and then I would just again reiterate, as I do pretty much every time I talk, that we do believe that there need to be different rules for the different management areas within the Modesto subbasin, as there are 4 different management areas, and there's no requirement that a one-size-fits-all approach be utilized. In fact, that's the whole reason for the management areas that are permitted by STRGBA. And I know that there's been a lot of talk about this. If we don't have a one-size-fits-all approach, or we don't do things the way DWR wants, DWR will come in. Nothing that DWR has put out says a one-size-fits-all approach is required. So I will continue to ask that you require different management actions or demand reduction, etc. Have different rules for the different management areas based on the actual conditions in each management area.
Noted. Thank you for the comment.
Thank you.
Any other public comment?
Okay.
Get the microphone. Then the people on the phone can hear you.
Cracks me up. Okay.
Stand, we don't want to hold it.
I'm Julia with the Stanislaus Mutual Water Company, representing some growers in the non-district east area. One of the questions already answered. I was going to ask when the GSP will be available for review, and I know that we also have a comment period after it's posted. I also want to say that we're participating in figuring out how the low mitigation program will be funded. As I mentioned last meeting, we've got other stakeholders. I hope that moves forward so that we can have some opportunity to review these documents and plan for those. And then also wanted to say that we appreciate the acknowledgement in the resolution that says that wet hydrologic conditions and fast implementation of projects will result in a diminished need for management actions, because that's what we're targeting and trying to do in the non-district east area. So I just wanted to comment and say thank you for mentioning that in the resolution, because that is our goal. That's it.
Thank you. Any further comment? No comment from member agencies before we move on? All right, just a discussion item, so you have that available to take to your board and your council. I'm also planning on, I've got a rough draft put together right now. I'm gonna button that up of the agenda that I plan to take to our board. So I'll share that with you all so that you have a template to hopefully work from. So I'm hoping to get that out by the end of the week. Okay, item number 6 is the next meeting. I didn't hear anything today that was too negative or gave me the impression that we needed to have another meeting next week to go over anything. We went through the revisions and what we expect is needed to address the comments by DWR. Anybody feel that we need to have a meeting next week? Is everybody comfortable canceling the meeting, the special meeting, or the standard meeting, the normally scheduled meeting we have on the books for next week? We're all good with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll plan on canceling that and letting everybody utilize that time to get ready for going in front of their boards and councils. And then our next meeting would be the following month. Do you have a date for it, Jennifer? Help us with the date. Well, I guess I guess I had it here. It's the 10th. Yep, that's right. July 10th. So the next meeting will be July 10th at 1:30 here at OAD. Oh, we're online. All right, excellent. Any other comment, feedback on the next meeting? Any comment, feedback? Oh, sorry.
The other question I had, so if that's the day we're going to actually adopt the GSP, is the intent for all the respective agencies to start to already have it signed, or just at least gone and approved?
Yeah, able to take action at the meeting. Yeah. And then we want to be able to turn those, signature sheets around to get those resolutions back by the member agencies so we can still post by the 16th. Yeah.
Thank you.
So we'll start off 6 days after that meeting. Comments, questions from the public on the next meeting date and canceling the 12th meeting this next week. Okay. Item number 7, committee comments or reports. Anybody have any comments? Reports, anything they want to bring up? No? All right, good. Meeting adjourned. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
We started seeing you ever had.